In a quiet town, a chilling mystery begins to unfold. Edna Suttles, an elderly woman known for her kindness and community involvement, mysteriously vanishes without a trace, raising alarming questions about the last person seen with her. Cooperate with us, Daniel. We just want to understand what happened, one detective urges, his voice steady yet firm as he leans forward, studying Daniel's every movement. I'm more than willing to cooperate, sir.
Totally cooperating.
But none of this makes sense. Whereas Edna, the anxiety in his voice is palpable. But the detectives exchange glances, sensing something amiss. The timeline of Edna's disappearance begins to take shape. It all started on August 27th, 2021. The lead detective explains, pacing slightly as he recounts the details. Edna left her home in Travelers Rest that morning to help a friend who had fallen ill. Hours later, a frantic 911 call reveals that something is seriously wrong. My mom, Edna, didn't show up for her appointment. A voice crackles over the radio, a distressed woman pleading for help. This isn't like her. Please, you have to help. Within minutes, detectives are dispatched to Edna's home for a welfare check. But what they find is unsettling. There are no signs of a break-in. The doors are locked, and the windows are intact. Yet to their horror, they discover that $50,000 worth of jewelry and Edna's beloved car are missing. Days pass, and the search for Edna intensifies. The community rallies together, posting flyers and organizing search parties, but hope begins to dwindle as the hours stretch into days. Finally, in a dramatic turn of events, Edna's car is discovered abandoned in a hotel parking lot just blocks from her home, a puzzling twist that raises even more questions. Determined to piece together the last movements of Edna, detectives delve into the CCTV footage from around the time of her disappearance. At 9:30 a.m., Edna is seen leaving her house and driving to a Food Lion grocery store. Minutes later, a man is observed approaching her vehicle, his figure shrouded in shadow. For hours later, Edna's car returns to the same store, but this time, it's Daniel behind the wheel. He exits, looking around cautiously, as if sensing the weight of unseen eyes upon him. After parking Edna's car, Daniel wipes it down meticulously, erasing any trace of his presence. By 2:14 p.m., Edna is nowhere to be found, and the detectives feel a knot tightening in their stomachs as they begin to connect the dots. Realizing the urgency of the situation, the detectives scramble to uncover Daniel's identity. A grainy image from the footage makes it difficult, but they know a breakthrough is imminent. Hours later, they identify him as Daniel Prince, a man with a dark past. 24 years prior, he was convicted of kidnapping a woman in Michigan, a crime that had shocked the community. After serving his sentence and being released in 2009, he began working as a handyman for elderly women, a job that allowed him to slip under the radar. Could we have a kidnapper on the loose? One detective speculates as they gather around a table littered with evidence. They know they must act quickly. Although they lack enough evidence to charge him with murder, they can pursue a grand larceny charge regarding Edna's stolen vehicle. As they plan their next steps, the tension in the air thickens. Stand up, the lead detective commands as they approach Daniel in a diner where he's been seen frequenting. Calmly, Daniel replies, "I will be very cooperative." His words seem rehearsed, as if he's practiced this moment in his mind. Despite the heavy police...
The state.
Okay. What'd you get locked up for? Because you said you got paroled.
I was locked up for a kidnapping charge.
Okay.
And I did 13 and a half years for that.
Oh, wow.
I did 1.5 years for a false statement on a vehicle title. You know, when they're not sure if they're going to make something, they want something to hold you with. So the false statement, that's all that was. The kidnapping, I was doing some bad shit that I shouldn't have been doing, but I shouldn't have gotten kidnapping. But I was doing some bad shit.
What kind of shit? What shit have you gotten?
I really don't want to say.
We're just bullshitting. Just bullshitting.
Nothing when you're talking to two police detectives in a room. It's just bullshit. Okay, I've been through the system enough to know that. All I'm going to say about that is I did my time, I made my first
Fair enough.
and I haven't been in trouble since.
Hey, and that's great to know. You know, a lot of people, especially being what you've been through, they come out and they go right back to it.
Just because he's a convicted criminal doesn't mean he's involved in Edna's disappearance, but the evidence the detectives have paints a different picture altogether from the hard-working, reformed criminal he claimed to be.
I'll talk to you about August 27th, 2021 of this year.
What day of the week was that?
It was Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so specifically the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
What, 2 weeks ago? Do you remember where you were at?
Not specifically.
Where do you think you were at?
I've been going all over the place. I've been back and forth to Charlotte. I've been down to South Carolina.
Like, where's the jobs in South Carolina taking you?
Actually, I was down to Travelers Rest, but I don't know if it was Friday or Thursday. I know I'd been there earlier that week.
But you don't remember which day specifically?
No, it was either Thursday or Friday.
What kind of job were you working on?
I wasn't.
You wasn't?
I wasn't. This lady had talked to me several times. I'd been down to her house 2 or 3 times. We kind of got to be friends. This woman has so many damn problems, mostly her daughter. She would call me and have me come down there.
Okay.
She said she needed to have money at one point in time to help her daughter because her daughter was in jail. Then she needed money another time because she was hiring a private investigator. Because her son-in-law she talked to me all kinds of stuff about it. We got to be pretty good friends about stuff like
Okay.
that.
How'd you meet her initially?
Years ago,
Okay.
it was somebody giving me her name or number or her my name and number.
Here, the detectives are analyzing his behavior and allowing Prince to dig a hole for himself that he's going to struggle to escape from. When they reveal they know the truth, he's going to try and deny his guilt, even when the evidence speaks for itself.
What you're telling us is that's not you on the 27th? Food Line parking lot, Travelers Rest?
I don't think so.
That's not you.
That's me. Where's that?
Food Line, August 27th, 2021, 9:23,
Okay.
32 seconds. Ringing a bell?
Yep. Yeah, I was down to Food Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you doing down there that day?
She wanted me to look at some stuff at her house,
Okay.
and she picked me up at Food Lion because she wanted me with her when she was gonna go meet some guy for private investigator.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
She wanted me to meet her down there.
Okay.
She was nervous because she says, I'm not sure I trust this guy. And she knows I've been in the military. And she says, will you meet me? She wanted me to see if this guy was going to meet her where he was supposed to meet her.
Do you know where?
There was a hotel lobby that he had finally said, meet me at the hotel.
Okay.
She says, drive up there and see if he's there. And I drove up there, and things are starting to sound really squirrely to me.
This is a common deflective behavior. Prince is not only trying to deflect suspicion away from himself, he's trying to point suspicion directly at someone else. In this case, the private investigator. According to Prince, Edna wanted to meet the private investigator the day before she was reported missing, even though she didn't feel safe meeting him alone.
Presence. Daniel maintains a composed demeanor, exuding an unsettling confidence, as if he was prepared for this encounter all along. The detectives start the conversation casually, hoping to catch him off guard. So, Daniel, what do you do for work? I do a lot of home remodeling, stuff like that. He responds, a hint of defensiveness creeping into his tone. Interesting. How long have you been doing that? One detective probes, trying to gauge his comfort level. I don't know, a few years maybe. Daniel replies, his eyes darting nervously. As the detectives exchange knowing glances, they begin to apply pressure. I don't really remember, Daniel stammers, his voice losing its earlier steadiness. The detectives reveal their findings, laying out the timeline of Edna's disappearance and the evidence they've gathered. The tension rises as the pieces of the puzzle come together, exposing Daniel's web of deception.